All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Friends from College Season 2. We're doing Episode 2. It's called Storage Unit. So full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. This is a much better episode than the premiere. Much more personal. Get everybody away from each other. Make it a little more intimate. That's what I like. Everybody kind of doing their own things. It is really true what they say in this show. I mean, about whenever they get all grouped together, it really turns into a shit show. Not that it can't be, a shit show on its own. And when people, like in this situation with them trying to separate their stuff, but it's less chaotic. It's more personal. And I really like that in this episode quite a bit. And we bookend with like two of my favorite songs, starting with Soul Coughing's Super Bonbon. It kind of ruins, hopefully I don't think of this show, this episode when I hear Super Bonbon. But if you don't know Soul Coughing, man, check them out. They're really cool from the 90s. So John, Sam's soon-to-be ex-husband, does some real tech-savvy stuff. I don't know from tech-savvy when it comes to these kind of things. He takes Sam's phone, hacks into her account, gets all her contacts, and then instead of, and this is smart, instead of calling them and having to say himself every single time he calls somebody, giving the whole speech over and over again, he records his side of the story, like what Sam did to him and how she ruined their marriage. He records it, his description of the events that happened. There is really only one version. It's where she had an affair. So, but he records it and then proceeds to start going through her entire contact list, telling everyone what she did to him and their family and all that stuff. And it's not just friends, it's people that she works with, people that she works for, people that she sells things to or whatever, clients. And that's hardcore, man. Nick says that later, that's really hardcore. That's fucked up. But I mean, look, what one does in a situation like this, I don't know. I've never been in this kind of situation, so I don't know if it's right or not. I mean, it's certainly, if somebody did that to me, I don't know. But anyway, so everybody starts getting the phone calls, and then it ends up she's trying to help Nick buy furniture. Is that her job? They've never really, I don't know if they've really gone out of their way to explain her job. I know she works in this building, she has an office, and I don't know if they said it or made too much of a point about what she does, if she's an interior designer or is she like a professional shopper. I don't know, but John calls him and gets the message, and this gets them to tell Marianne, and they all listen to the message, and it's pretty hardcore. And Marianne comes up with the idea to track him with, his own cell phone, which he hasn't changed the password for. And so they're able to get into a car, Marianne's car, who has a bunch of tickets. And she basically says that every time, she gets, if her car gets impounded, she just leaves the car and gets a new one because it's better than paying tickets instead of parking legally. Yeah, that's our Marianne. I mean, again, at least she says, when they ask her about Sarah Chalke's character, she's a bitch. But Nick's going on a date with her, and they want him to videotape it, but that's not going to happen. But in the chaos of trying to find John, they hit a guy in front of them. And yeah, what's with her? I like that somebody else mentions Sam's clothes. Why it's all like parachutes? It's all like he calls it her drapes. Why does she always dress like that? Everywhere she goes, she's going to a fucking party. Or maybe that's just, her, part of her business look is to be fancy, to try to sell people things. You have to look the part, I guess. But she dresses like that everywhere. but Marianne dips. I did like that part. When the cops come and they find out that there's like $12,000. Is it $12,000 or 12,000 tickets? It can't be 12,000 tickets. She just bails on Nick and Sam bails on Nick. And so now Nick is stuck with the car because of what happened. Sam, though, does catch up to John, Greg German, God damn it, I can't get over that name. At least he's doing some good stuff here. You know, he does like freak out when he sees her and everything, but he's not going to stop. And, you know, there's nothing really she can do about it. And that's that part of the story. And I do like that. They separated everybody. They got Sam, Nick, and Marianne doing their little thing. And then now you have like Max, you know, dealing with Ethan about his stuff. I do like that Max is starting to be more assertive in his friendships, you know, not blaming Felix, you know, kind of putting things on other people. Like at first he lies about, you know, what Felix wants your stuff out of here, but really it's him, and he admits that. And he continues to try to, you know, assert himself when he feels like his friends are taking advantage of him. And he admits, like, no, I want your stuff out of here, okay? And he's right about the whole, what should he do when she comes to move the stuff? Nothing. Don't talk. Just get it done. But where's the conflict? If there's no drama, there's no conflict without drama, or drama without conflict. Sorry. So of course they're going to talk. And the whole scene where he's trying to sell the furniture, and the lady keeps going on about the chipping, and I was on the same page. Like when they finally go, yeah, we get it, just fucking chipping. Like she keeps trying to make sure that they know that there are flaws in the furniture, so that they can get the price down. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up and just, do you want the furniture or what? You know. But the whole nostalgia thing where he starts to make Lisa upset, trying to, because he's a writer, and he that's the way he thinks, is in a story way. So he starts describing how they got the furniture, and it makes her feel bad, and how, you know. So when he does the opposite, okay, so then he tells like an opposite story, like, oh, well, the furniture, you know, we're getting rid of it because I had an affair for 20 years with a mutual friend. So like he doesn't have that middle ground in his brain. I don't think it's either black or white. He can't be the neutral person who just says, look, we're just trying to get rid of it. Do you want it or not? You know, either way, he's telling a story. But then, you know, things do start to calm down. I do like the TiVo part. It is like, dude, if anybody came into my room and just started trying to plug in a fucking TiVo, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, don't do that. I don't care how upset you are. Like, you want to take your TiVo, go somewhere else and hook it up. Again, this is where Max should be more assertive and be like, dude, just stop. This isn't that's Felix's TV. That's his hookup. Also, you can prove what? You know, that you guys like 24? Because then again, it starts bringing up things about how good their marriage seemed. But it does give them a chance to kind of start to get things out there, you know, where Michael Key gives a good performance in this scene, talking about, you know, if you got to make me out to be the monster, that's fine, but you know, I'm not a monster. I'm just a flawed fucking piece of shit. And that's like pretty much word for word. And that was really good. And I mean, it hits her, it hits him, it hits Max. Because he's owning it. He's owning up to what he's done. Not that it makes it any better right now, but I mean, Ethan isn't a monster. He's just a bad husband. And why did he do it? You know, that kind of thing. Like, but Max reminding him, you know, like, this is awkward. This is my place. Why are you doing this here? And it's like, well, dude, you know. But they try to be professional when they're moving stuff. But then you can just tell, like, in order to get through it, they start playing some music. They start drinking some wine. They just sends them down the rabbit hole even further of like, this is it. They're really doing it. And the cliche thing happens here. And I am a little bummed that after this conversation, they had to do it. I wish they hadn't. I wish they had gotten close to doing it and stopped themselves. But again, this whole show is about how awkward can they make things before, you know, they have to go to the edge of the abyss, and they always have to go over it. And I wish that sometimes they'd be a little restrained in things, but there is no restraint in this show. It's always drive the fucking car off the cliff. So yeah, they do it, you know, for like all of 2 seconds. And it's where we are here, realizing that, you know, how many times have we seen that in shows where they always have to have that last bang? That last, you know, sexual interlude that says that the relationship is really over. It's been done to death, and that's why I wish they would have at least just said, stop, we're not doing this. Like, we already know it's over. Why torture ourselves anymore? Maybe that's how it is. Maybe that happens more often than not, and I'm just not getting it because I've never been in that position. But then it is kind of, you know, the wave really, you know, talks about how it's over when John calls Lisa and she gets the automated message telling her what, you know, describing to her in detail what happened. And it was at the exact, like, worst possible moment for Ethan, who doesn't know what is being said, but it's like, it's solidifying it for Lisa in her head, you know, the real clarity of, this is the situation, this is what they did, and reminding her like how much he fucked up their life. And even though I do think he loved her, you know, and he uses the excuse that cheating on her a handful of times made him feel like he was 19 again, it don't fly. And so, anyway, I like that she smashes it, tells him it's his mess, clean it up, and ends with another one of my favorite songs, Jane's Addiction's Mountain Song. Just now I have 2 songs that I really like that now I'm gonna associate with this episode, and hopefully it doesn't ruin them for me. But anyway, it's a really good episode, really good character stuff here. Like I said, it's nice to see them when they're not grouped up, when it becomes more personal. Also, I guess before I end this, I should talk about Nick meeting Sarah Chalke's son after they have sex. Yeah, I can already tell that this, you know, again, cliched dickhead kid, pussy, and, you know, like, why? I don't know, just to be awkward. Again, awkward. This whole thing is always just so awkward. Like, why didn't she tell him about the kid and all that? So that's going to be a conversation that they'll have in the next episode. Like, why didn't she tell me about the kid? I didn't know. Why wouldn't I have done this? But it was because before that, it was nice to see that he didn't want to go up with her necessarily to her apartment and have sex. Like, he likes her. He's you know, in the line of, you're wise enough, doesn't call her old, wise enough to know what's wrong with me. And he's afraid and vulnerable, and maybe that draws her closer to him, makes her want him more, but he's at least trying to grow as a person. And so that's kind of cool. But so I didn't understand why they had this great scene, and then they had to throw in this, you know, as Max put it earlier, some dickhead teenager into the mix. I mean, just to have the kid be standing there awkwardly like, you just had sex with my mom or something. Well, instead, he has to call him a pussy and then walk away. Like, whatever. Anyway, so that's the episode. It's much improved from the first episode of the season. I really dug this episode. I don't really have too many problems with it. But if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews saying we will see you on the next episode, and have a great day. Bye.